This is the face. This is what you start to look like when someone's cheated on you. This is the face that you got up every morning and you put on your face because you wanted to look your best each and every day. And today, it doesn't matter. This letter is to the cheater. The questions we all have as women, and maybe some men too. I think the first question we always ask is, why? Why did you do it? Maybe I wasn't the best wife. Maybe I wasn't the tidiest. Maybe my food wasn't the best. Maybe I had gained a few pounds. Maybe. But why didn't you just look me in the eye and tell me, you've got to fix this? This is what I need from you. Whatever it is, whether it be a better meal, some more time with you, some more intimacy, I don't know what. Because you never told me. I didn't know. You blindsided me. I was going along happy, content. It was enough for me. It was enough to get up, go to work, come home, and sit and wait for you to come home and sit next to me so we could have a few hours together. And they were just a few hours. They were just a few hours because you worked such long hours. And I was home alone, and I had plenty of time to go out looking for someone else to fulfill my needs, but I didn't. I stayed and I waited for you. And it was okay because I thought you loved me. You acted like you loved me. My cards on my birthday, on Valentine's Day, Christmas, any holiday cards, you told me how much you loved me and you cherished me. You called me the queen bee. And you said it so much that I believed it. I believed you, so I was safe in my little bee nest. I was safe, and I felt secure. The safety and security that every woman wants, I had, until one day I felt something. I felt something. So women, when you feel something's not right, you're right, something is not right. And I felt something, and I kept asking you, and you said, it's nothing, it's you. But there's something inside of me that couldn't let it go, because I felt something. It was something. Suddenly, you didn't want me to go with you to do those things that we always did. And I didn't understand why. Suddenly, you needed alone time, and I didn't understand why, because you had so much alone time. We had so much time apart, and I didn't understand why. And I knew there was something, and I asked you many times, just tell me, look me in the eye and tell me. And you looked me straight in the eye, And you said it's nothing. And I asked you specifically, are you seeing someone else? Is there someone else? And you said no. You looked me in the eye because I foolishly believe that if someone looks you in the eye, they can't lie to you, because I could not possibly look anyone in the eye and blatantly lie to them. And you looked me in the eye and you said, no, there is no one. I love you. I love you. At Monday morning, I was sleeping. We were sleeping, and at 4 a.m., the phone rings. But it's on silent, it's on mute, so it's just that little buzz. But I was sleeping light already because I already had an unrest inside of me knowing that something was wrong. And so I heard it right away. It woke me up. And I decided to get up to go to the bathroom. But on the way, I looked at your phone. And there was the reality. There was the reality that brought me to my knees, that hurt me to the core of my being. It was a text from a woman that said, "Good morning, lover. I love you." And those few words cut me so deep in my heart that I just couldn't move. I was paralyzed. And I started to shake. And I started to physically get ill. And I didn't know what to do. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? So I called the number foolishly. And a woman answered, and of course she hung up. And so I go to you and I wake you up, and you wake up in a daze. What's going on? What's going on? And I always say, how could you? How could you do this to me? And I showed you the text, and you said, it's not me. It's not me. It's got to be a wrong number. And I said to you, because of all the problems we had been having this week with me questioning you, I said, because we always have that small glimmer of hope that somehow it is you. You're making it up in your own mind. And you always want to have that hope that it's not true. And so I said to him, if this is a fluke, if by accident someone happened on this date to send you this text, then boy, Satan must really hate you. But he told me, crying with tears in his eyes, I love you. I love you. Till that very moment, he kept saying, I love you. And that moment passed, and because I could not prove anything, I just couldn't prove it. I couldn't prove it because the person texted back some big, lengthy explanation of how it was a wrong number. She was trying to reach Tom, and Tom had one digit off, and he changed his number, and it went on so long that I said, what a foolish woman you are. Don't you realize you're making it worse? You're digging your hole deeper. But I let it go for that moment, but I couldn't. There was something about it. Couldn't let it go. And I had come across this name. That was in the back of my head. And now I had this number. I didn't know who was behind the number, but I had the number. And so later that day, I tried to go to work, but I couldn't do it. I lasted maybe 45 minutes, and I had to leave because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So I went to a private investigator, and I said, I have this name and I have this number. Tell me I want to know if this name matches this number. And 2 hours later, I had my answer, even though inside of me, I already knew. I already knew. But we always have that glimmer of hope. Always to the very last minute, we have that glimmer of hope that it isn't true. Look at me. This is the face. This is the consequence of your actions. While you played and continue playing, I'm paying the price dearly. So I got all the proof on black and white on paper. And you came home that night. And I asked you once again, who is this woman? And he said, I never heard of her before. And I said, look me in the eye and tell me that you don't know this woman, that you're not seeing this woman, that you haven't been phoning or calling or texting. And he said, I don't know who it is. There is no one. I love you. But I already knew. I had it in black and white in my hands on a few sheets of paper. I was provided with all the phone logs, and I could see that number over and over and over and over. And every time I saw the number on the logs, it was like a stab to my heart. A stab to my heart. Because I knew, deep down I'd always known, but then here it was in black and white, right in front of me, and I couldn't deny it anymore. My last glimmer of hope was over. It was gone. In an instant, it was gone. And you brought me to my knees. And it consumed me for days, and it continues to consume me. And you can't eat, and you can't sleep. And your whole world turns black and white, and nothing seems to matter. Because someone has just torn you down. He's ripped you apart piece by piece, and you can't get up. You don't want to get up. There's no energy for you to get up. There's no will. You cheaters out there, that you don't understand what you are doing to other people, to people who did nothing to you. So even then, you never truly admitted, said, yes, you caught me, yes, I did it, yes, I know her, yes, I saw her. You just looked at me. And what I wanted to hear most of all was to say, I'm sorry, I screwed up, I'm sorry, I did it, but I'm sorry, but I didn't hear that from you. And you saw me crying, and you just looked at me like I was an ant walking across the table. And there was no comfort from you to just look at me, and you could see the devastation on my face. You could see me crying, you could see me falling apart, and you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You didn't comfort me. You didn't comfort any, like I would comfort any stranger that I saw walking across the street, looking the way I did at that moment. I would have run to them and give them a hug and tell them, I'm sorry, but I'm here. What can I do for you? But you did none of those things. And I contacted her husband because this woman is married. And he said to me, well, I'm not surprised. Because after we were married, she told me she had cheated on every relationship she had ever been in. And maybe by my contacting him, it finally became his reality, because maybe he suspected or he thought, but finally here it was at his front door. And I know that he had to have been in as much pain as I was, knowing that it was true. There was no hope left. There was no hope. It was true. And so you two cheaters have affected other lives while you were frolicking and having fun and doing whatever, going out to eat and whatever you did. You were ruining someone else's life. I want you to take a good look at me, because this Calvin is what you did to me.